everybody, it's Wendy, and today I have for you, well, we're going to try to make a necklace tutorial out of some products from this month's bargain bead box. So this is July 2021, and this is these are some of the components from the bargain bead box. Now, I have had to pull quite a bit from my stash, and I will tell you everything that I've got here and what I have pulled from my stash, in case you want to make something similar. So first off, I have the blue goldstone pendant, which I think is really, really pretty. I wasn't going to put it on this, but when I held it up, it looks really pretty dangling from the end. So I'm not going to make this a very long necklace. It's going to be short, and I've measured my Coriana chain at about 18 inches, okay? So I want this to be almost choker, not necessarily, but almost, because it's going to be kind of a bigger statement piece. And you can always put an extender chain on if you want to be able to lengthen it a little, and I probably will. So this is Coriana chain. This is available on my website. This is the platinum, the bright silver color. This is the pendant from the July edition of the Bargain Bead Box. These are some spacer beads that I had in my own stash, and excuse my hands, Lainey and I have been tie-dyeing today, so I'm a little stained. I did use gloves, but some of it got underneath there. So these are some beads that I've pulled from my own stash. Honestly, I will tell you, I was a little bit afraid of the beads, the spacer beads that they had in the bargain bead box this month. I just don't trust them. They looked cheap, and I'm afraid they're going to tarnish, so I went ahead and just pulled some spacers from my own stash. These are some bicones from my own stash. These are 6mm Montana blue, and the reason that I'm using these is because I did not like the sapphire color that they included with this month's box with the goldstone. I just didn't think it looked good. It's too light. So I pulled some Montana bicones because I do want some sparkle in this, but I just didn't want to use those bicones. I do have all of the jump rings from the box this month, and I don't know how many we'll use, but they're here if we need them. I have several of the little 6mm blue goldstone beads. I don't know, we may end up using more, but for now I've just pulled out, what do I have here? 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. So we'll see. I don't know. And then I've got all of these little flower components except for 4, and I saved 4 out for a pair of earrings to go with this. So I've got all these pulled out. Now, a lot of these had some really dark metal places on them, and I have taken my jewelry cleaning cloth and tried to shine them up a little. I don't know if they're supposed to be that way, but I don't really like that. I like them to be all the same and not some of them darker than others. So we will probably pick and choose sides depending on which side is dark and which side is light, because they were all a little different, and my jewelry cleaning cloth did clean them up a little bit, but still they've got some kind of weirdness. So we'll see how that goes. I do have some ball head pins. I'm going to be making some dangles, and they're going to be very small dangles. So I wanted to use ball head pins because they're easier to deal with to do small things. I have a lobster clasp here, a ring for the lobster to clasp onto, 2 clamshell covers, and 2 crimp beads. These are 1.5mm crimp beads to to finish off my Coriana chain at the end of my necklace. And like I said, I think I will add an extender chain, but I did not pull one out, so let me grab one. Okay, so I did pick up a piece of extender chain here, and that is everything except for your jewelry tools. And grab your jewelry tools if you want to make this necklace with me. Get your supplies together and come on back, and we will get right into it, okay? So let me move a little bit of this out of the way. We're not going to be using the bicones yet. We're not going to be using these spacers yet. All of this stuff right here I'm going to put out, because the very first thing we're going to be doing are hooking these little links together with our bicones, okay? Now, the way that I want to do this is I want to hook them side by side and top to bottom like this. So I'm just going to lay this out for a second and see how I need this to go. I had it laid out a minute ago, but okay, so we're just putting all of these together, and this is exactly how it needs to go. Now, if you can see how much darker that one is than the rest of them, and the bottom one is going to go turn different than the others, okay? All the rest are sitting just like this except for the bottom one, and we're going to turn it a little bit different. But we're going to hook all these together with our jump ring. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing the first few, and then I'll probably pause the video and let you guys do it because I know you don't want to watch me do this. It's probably not going to be very exciting. But what I'm going to do is take my pliers. Okay, now I want these to lay just like I've got them here. So I have to be careful when I put the jump rings on that I keep them laying flat. That's going to be important because they're going to have to lay flat when we're done. So if you can see, I've hooked those two together, corner to corner, and I'm going to do the same with this next one. I so hope these findings don't tarnish. If I make this necklace and these findings tarnish within a few days, I'm going to be really aggravated. Last month, my silver findings all tarnished, and they look terrible. And somebody said, you know, I talked about taking the jewelry apart, and somebody said, oh, just clean them, but they tarnished so quickly that even if I do clean them, I think you would have to clean them every single time you wear the jewelry, and I don't want to have to do that. I have heard that you can take clear nail polish or Krylon spray and spray your silver findings to keep them from tarnishing. I have not done that. I know that a lot of people put clear nail polish on the metal parts of their earrings if they are allergic to certain metals or sensitive to certain metals, and that helps, but I haven't tried to do that to prevent tarnishing. So I can't say for sure that it works, but I have heard that it works, so I don't know. But I hope these don't tarnish, is my point. It's so frustrating to make something and then you come back a few days later and it's yellow. It's terrible. Alright, so this is how I'm doing this. So if you can see, I've got a top row here, and like I said, it's really important that you get these just right on here. I've got a top row and a second row going, okay? So I want to put this one here for the second row. And there is only a certain number of them, so I have to make sure, and that's why I laid it out and then I just moved them and totally lost my little pattern, but I do want to make sure that I get the right number here. So I'm just hooking them together corner to corner, and there's a top row and a second row. So let me make sure this is going to work again. I took my little pattern apart there. Actually, yeah, I'm going to need that one, and that one, and that one. Okay, so I need two more here on this top row. I thought these were pretty little links, but like I said, they kind of have I mean, maybe they're antique silver, I guess. They look like they are, but I hope they don't tarnish. They have like a blackish, a black to them. I don't know how to even describe it. But anyway, I'll let you know here in a few days after I make this if I come back and it's yellow. I will definitely let you guys know that. Oh my goodness. It's been a month, hasn't it, with Bargain Bead Box. A lot of people were so upset. I was upset this month too. I did not feel like it was a good box. I felt like that the colors did not go together. I got these red beads and other people got blue, and I thought the blue ones were definitely a better match with the box. I don't know why they would have put red in there. Some people were saying shipping issues, but to be honest, guys, I order from a lot of the same places that they order from, and I have really not had trouble getting too many things, so I don't understand totally shipping. I mean, I do know that there is some stuff going on, but not to the extent I don't think that they have had issues. I don't know. But Bargain Bead Box has consistently, for the past 4 years that I've been subscribed to them, okay, they have consistently been very good. They have had excellent customer service. Their boxes have been amazing. And so a lot of people were just jumping ship, and I am not willing to do that yet because they've consistently been good for the past 4 years. And I mean, maybe this is a downhill slide. I don't know, but I honestly think that if they can do 4 years of great boxes, then they can pick that back up. And then another person said, well, inflation, costs are going up, and yes, that is true too, sort of. I've not seen a huge rise again in the cost of the products that I'm buying. So maybe you guys have. I don't know. I haven't. And I'm just hooking on my second. I'm just continuing to hook these together, corner to corner, in case you're wondering. But anyway, I haven't seen a huge inflation, so honestly, I don't think it's that. I just don't think it is. If it is that, and their box is going to go down in value, or they need to raise the price, then they need to let us know that. They just need to come out and say it, if that's the case. So I don't know. But like I said, they've consistently been very good for years. So I'm not going to let a couple months of, an issue make me unsubscribe or, quit using their box. So we will see. We will see what happens in the future. I did subscribe to another box called Bead's Venture. Beth told me about that, so thank you, Beth. And I'm going to check that out and see how it is. It's $30 a month, which, yes, I know is a little bit more than your bargain bead box. But I'm going to give it a try and see how it is. I don't know anything about it other than, the website that Beth directed me to, and I checked it out, and it looked kind of interesting. So I will hopefully be having some unboxings from that coming up soon. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm not ready to just jump ship on Bargain Bead Box yet, because honestly, I think they can bring it back. I think it's just, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if somebody's on vacation or, we've got problems with the running of the show. I don't know what's going on, but I do know that consistently they have been good, and I'm just not going to jump out just yet. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I am just attaching these all, and I don't know how this is going to look, but we'll see. Okay, so let me lay it out here so we can see what we got. So I have got, what do I have? I'm not sure what I've got. Let me look at this again. Okay, I should have a top row, a second row, and a third row. Okay, I do. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my top row, 4 on my second, 3 on my third. I'm going to hook these here, so we'll have 2 here. And then we will have 1 on the bottom. But the one on the bottom, we're going to have to hook on a little differently. So right here, and if you can hear Chris talking, him and Lainey are watching the movie God's Not Dead, which is an awesome movie. If you have not seen it, it's fantastic. I highly recommend it. It has the Newsboys in it, which is one of my favorite groups. I'm such a groupie. I would go to every concert they have if I could. If you haven't listened to the Newsboys, check them out. They are amazing. But that movie's really good too. God's Not Dead. And like Chris is explaining to Lainey what's going on down there in the movie, if you can hear him talking. Okay, let's see. So this guy we want to hook on. And it's just important on these that you get them situated the correct way. Once we get everything put together, and especially when we get the chain going, they will hopefully lay better. Against your skin, against you, they're gonna lay right, but we have to make sure we get them hooked together right. So I am just taking these little jump rings. Now see this guy right here, looks like I've situated him wrong. So let me look here. Yeah, I think, no, wait, maybe not. Yeah, I've situated this little guy wrong. So they are the four little circles, okay, right? Like a little four-leaf clover thing. And you need to have them situated all the way down through here. The two top rings, which that one is right, it's the one beside it that needs to go. The two top rings attached to, well, let me just show you. Hold on, let me fix this one and I'll show you. I've got this one catty-cornered. And I guess you could hook them all together catty-cornered if you wanted to, but that's not how I've been doing it, so I don't want this one to be wonky. So I'm going to reattach him. Just this corner. Whoops. A little fiddly, but we'll get it. Let me lay it out here again. Like I said, it is a little fiddly, but I gotta make sure that I get it on. This guy is on wrong. He's the one I've got to fix. I'll show you guys here. Okay. So, I had his, okay, there we go. So I had this little guy, I had him hooked by this one and this one, so he was turned. But I want them sitting with two on top of two and then two. I don't know. I'm hoping this makes sense. I hope you can just see it because it's really hard to explain. But I want them sitting boxy or square and not diagonal. So just look at the way they're sitting. The two top ones are hooked on and the bottom ones aren't until we get to the next row, and then they are. But I just want them sitting boxy, straight, square, and not catty-cornered. Except for the bottom one, and it's going to go on different. Okay. So now we're down here. We have got our first row. Hold on just a second, and I will show you. We space them out here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on our first row, 4 on our second, then 3, then these two. So can you see how they're sitting? They're not catty-cornered. Now this guy, I'm going to do catty-cornered. So he's going to go like this, and these are going to connect. Because I want this dangle, I'm going to hang our big pendant from the bottom. So let me go ahead and just attach this one. So catty-cornered again, that's how I'm doing this last one. All the rest of them are squared. Okay. Did I do that right? Yes. Okay, we're going to get this one over here, and it's going to be good. This has been a little tricky. I did lay it out ahead of time and attached like several of them just to make sure that it was going to work before I got this on video, but I hadn't done the whole thing yet. Okay. So let's get that one right on here. Okay. So here we have it. And it's pretty cool. It makes just a little, I would call that, loosely call that chainmail, but not really. It's not. But it's the best I can do, actually. Okay, so here is our pendant. Now I'm going to take this big bail off because we don't need that on there. And I'm just going to bend it open with my pliers because I'll probably use it for something else later. There we go. Set that aside. And we're going to attach this with a jump ring. Okay. So let's go ahead and just put this one right on the end. Alright, now, there you go. Okay, so we've got all this together. Now we're going to bring in our chain, okay? Let me scoot this over just a tad. I can do this without having it fall off the... I had everything scooted over because I've had Lainey here working with me, and she's been over here. Okay, so this is my chain. Now, I'm going to hook these onto the chain with jump rings as well, okay? So I'm just going to take the jump rings, and each one of these I'm going to hook right onto the chain on both of the top little loops, okay? So I know this is not making a lot of sense, but I'm hoping you can tell by the way it looks because it's really hard to explain what I'm doing. Okay. And again, this one I'm just hooking directly onto the chain. Now you got to make sure that these are closed up really good. Okay, and if you can see, that's how they're going to hang on to the chain. That's what I want. And I'm going to do that all the way across with the next 4. So just hook all of yours onto the chain and come right on back. Okay, so I've done a little change of plan. So as I was hooking these on, I'm looking and I'm thinking, I just need to put the beads on as I'm doing this because they'll go right on the chain. So that's what I'm going to do. As I'm hooking these on, actually, I'm just going to go ahead, I think, and put all of the rings on like this on the ends of all of these the next 4 top ones, because I was thinking of dangling the bead from the chain, but I think that I'm just going to hook it directly on. So it will go like this. Well, let's just put these on because if I try to do that now, I'm going to mess everything up. It's just a little fiddly until we get it hanging on the chain. So I'm just going to hook jump rings on the top loops of all of these little links or components, whatever these things are, charms. I'm just hooking jump rings on the top of all of them and making sure that they're closed up really good. And then we'll look at the bead on there. The bead may look better dangling, and if it does, that's probably what I'll do. But for now, I'm thinking I can just put the bead directly on the chain because the Coriana chain fits through most beads. Okay, so I've got 2 more to do. Right here. Okay. And one last one here. This is going to use up a lot of these jump rings. Okay, so I've got all of my jump rings now hooked onto my pieces. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chain and I'm going to feed it through the jump rings. So we're going through the first 2 here. And then I'm going to put this bead on, this goldstone bead. These beads are absolutely gorgeous, by the way. I'm a huge fan of blue goldstone. My only problem with the box was it had so much in it and not a whole lot that went with it. So I had to pull, you know, stuff from my own stash, which is not terrible. Yeah, I think that might work. So I'm putting it through the next 2 rings, and then I'm putting another blue goldstone bead on. We're going to go through the next 2 rings. There's one. Get it through this other one. This is kind of hard. It's just a little tricky, but... And you can use your pliers to help you if you need to. Kind of get it through here, but you just have to make sure it goes through right, the right way. Like the ring is hanging right. Oh, come on now. There we go. Okay, there's another one. All you chainmail people are probably mad at me because I said that, but I know this is not chainmail. It's not even close. Not even close, but I can't do chainmail. I admire all of you chainmail people. I really do. Diane Mazzetti, she's amazing, so you guys need to check her out. Diane, what's your Facebook? I need to link your Facebook underneath here. I think it's Metalhead Designs, but oh my gosh, she does amazing chainmail. All right, there we go. We're getting it. One more little blue gold stone bead here. I know I need to move this whole thing down so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm kind of afraid to pick it up right now. Okay, and here's our last one, and I'm just going to put it through the 2 rings here. Oops. Make sure I get it through the right one. Okay. Now, let's pick this up and look at it. Now, I've done something wrong on the end here. What have I done wrong? Or did I do something wrong? I did. I've got this end piece twisted, so let me fix that. Yep, you can definitely tell if you mess it up, it does not hang right. So let me get this through here. Whoops, goodness. Sorry guys, I hate for you to have to watch me fiddle with it, but it's kind of tricky. Okay, there we go. Now, there we go. So we pick it up, and it is very pretty, but it's not really laying out like I want it. I want it to lay like this more. I don't want it to hang quite as... So I may need to put a smaller bead. I may need to put a spacer bead in between each goldstone bead. Sorry, guys. You guys are probably like, oh my gosh, but this is what happens when you design on the fly. Things happen and you have to adjust. Alright, so I'm going to put this spacer bead here. The 6mm. Goodness. 6mm, and then another spacer. Let's see how those might make it hang better. I don't want it to be too compact together when it hangs. I want it to kind of stay spread out. That's probably going to be better, I think. Okay, let's do that. Put a spacer. Now these spacers are, I believe, 4mm. I don't have them labeled, so I'm not really positive. They were just in my stash, but they look 4mm to me. So that would be my guess. And then the 6mm goldstone, and then the 4mm. A lot of people complained about the blue goldstone, saying that it's not a real gemstone, but I think blue goldstone is gorgeous, and it may be man-made, but it's still beautiful. I don't have a problem with it. I still consider it a very special looking bead. It's, you know, as pretty as any gemstone, I think. So I didn't have a problem with blue goldstone this month. It was just the fact that there was a lot of blue goldstone and not much to put with it. All right, let's get these 2 through. Yeah, that's really going to help it to lay better, I think. And I probably should have anticipated that, but I didn't. Alright, and 2 more. Spacer, blue goldstone. 3 more. Spacer, blue goldstone, and a spacer. And this one. And then I think we're good for this part. Okay. There we go. Now let's look. Yeah, that does make it hang better. I like that better. Okay. So, that is a lot better. I like this. This is turning out kind of cute. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I really want to, I'm going to put a spacer on each side. Now, I just want to bead a little bit up the side of this chain. I don't really bead all the way up on this Coriana chain all the time because I think that it doesn't really need it because it's pretty on its own. That is hanging really pretty now. Okay, so I'm just going to put a spacer bead on each side. And then I'm going to put in some of these bicones. I think these are really pretty. So I'm going to do a Montana bicone here. And I just put these in for a little variety and a little, I don't know, bling, sparkle. And then I'm going to do another blue goldstone bead. Another blue goldstone. Another Montana bicone. I think I'm just going to alternate them for a minute here. I don't really know if I need to carry any of the silver up through here. I guess I could do a spacer and just see how it looks. Yeah, that looks good. We'll put some of the silver, gold, goodness, some of the silver up through here. We'll do that, and we'll do, I think I'll do another bicone, and then a blue goldstone. This blue goldstone is so pretty under these lights. It is so, so sparkly. It's beautiful. And because this is a short necklace too, a lot of this chain will be around the back of your neck if you make it as short as I do. For this one, I just don't want this to be super long because I want this to hang right at the neckline, this whole thing here. But you could make it longer, however you like it. Okay. Whoops. That is very, very pretty. I think I might add a couple more. Grab a couple more of those blue goldstone beads. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to repeat the pattern. So I've got the spacers, bicone, blue goldstone, bicone, spacer, bicone, blue goldstone, bicone. I'm going to do another spacer and bicone, and then another blue goldstone. Spacer on each side, bicone on each side, and then a blue goldstone. On each side. And then I think I will do another bicone and spacer, and that's how I'll finish this off. Another bicone on each side, and another spacer on each side, and that's good. Now, if you want to crimp this at the end of the beads, you can definitely do that. I'm not going to because I feel like this is pretty much going to stay put. It's not going to have beads rolling around all over it too much. So I do want to make sure it's even, and it is. Yeah, I think that's going to be, I don't think that I need to crimp them. I don't think this is going to move around too much. Oh, I'm so sorry. The camera I just hit moves. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. So we're just going to put our ending on. So I'm going to take a clamshell, put my Coriana directly through it, add a crimp bead. Now you don't have to worry about making these crimps perfect because they're not going to show. They're going to be under your clamshell. And I'm going to take this to the end and just give it a pretty good smash, not so hard that it cuts your chain. I mean, I've not had that happen, but I guess it could. And then just close this up. These are a great ending for this chain. I think it looks very professional and neat. So let's go ahead and put this one, same thing. And stick this right in here, crimp it down. Close up our clamshell. Okay, just like that. Now, we need to put this ring on. This is going to be the ring that the lobster connects to, clasps onto. So I'm just going to add it on. It is not an open ring, or I would just open it and stick it on there, but I have to put it on with a jump ring because it's a closed ring. And then I'm just going to, well, you know what? I needed to put my extender on there too. I'll have to do it by opening this Rolo chain. So let me find where it opens. I do want to add the extender because depending on what I'm wearing this with, like if you're wearing a V-neck, you could wear it just a little bit lower if you're wearing not a v-neck, or you know, you might want to wear it a little higher. So this will just give some variety. It's not totally necessary, but I like to on some things to put an extender. And we're just going to put this lobster on over here. Just like this. And I'm going to make, I'll use my ball head pin, I'm going to make a little dangle for the end of my extender, just because I like to do that. It's pretty. So I'm going to go a spacer. Trying to pick up another blue goldstone bead. A blue goldstone, a bicone, and one more spacer. Just make a little dangle for the back of it. Not that anybody will see it, but I don't know. Maybe your hair sticks out. It'll stick out of your hair if you have short hair. Alright, so I'm going to make a wrapped loop. I'm going to go right over here and around. I'm going to go ahead and insert it on the end of my roller chain so I don't have to open my link. I'm just going to put it right on here before I close my wrapped loop. And then I'm just going to grab this with the bicone. Whoops. With my round nose pliers. Good Lord, I need to go to bed. And wrap. I called that a bicone. I called my round nose pliers bicone. Crazy. Okay. And I just wrap around a few times just so it's secure. Okay. And then you can cut it off or you can tuck it in. And just make sure there's no little snag sticking out. Okay. And there we have it. This turned out super cute. Like I said, as long as it doesn't tarnish, we'll be doing wonderful. So let me put this on a form and I will be right back to show it to you. Okay, so here is the necklace, and I'm really hoping this one doesn't tarnish because I love it. I think it's really pretty. There's the blue goldstone pendant. You can see it sparkling there a little bit in the light. Really pretty. And then we go up, we have all our little links connected together, and our goldstone beads and our bicones and our spacers. And then we just go on up, and here's the Coriana chain. It looks really classy, the Coriana does. I really like it. So I think this turned out great. I hope you guys like it. If you did, give me a thumbs up so I know. And yeah, I'm going to have some more pieces coming. If you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe and hit the little bell button to be notified when I upload, because I will have some earrings to match this, and I have a couple more ideas for some other necklaces. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Sadie, that's not a bowl. What are you doing? You want to get in the pool? No, she says, I do not. You drinking out of the goggles? Oh, where are you going? Gonna get in? Huh? Want in the pool? Sadie. Sadie. She looks like she's looking for a way in. You want to get in?